this First Division game here at Molineux this afternoon. They've only won one of their last 8 league fixtures, and that was last Saturday against Lake Norrent, and one wonders whether it's the introduction of Slater, number 5 at centre-half, that has brought this solidarity about the Wolves side at last. There's the visiting side this afternoon. Leicester City, only 23 goals against them this season so far, and this I think undoubtedly due to the half-back line of McLintock, King and Appleton, and a very, very workmanlike wing half-back line it is too. Wolverhampton Wanderers then to kick off in this First Division game here at Molineux. The pitch absolutely ideal for football, the light very good, and already the ball, the referee Mr. Faulkner said the ball must go forward into the opponent's half, and it must roll its full circumference before anybody else plays it. So off we go again with the start. Wolverhampton kicking off in their traditional colours, of course, all gold and black shorts. Leicester City in the white shorts and blue jerseys. Flowers, the skipper of the Wolverhampton side, after a successful game for England on Thursday, English League side rather. Broadbent to Hinton. Hinton, and that's a bad pass by Hinton. Stobart can never get up on that. Didn't even have got up on it, that's what would have happened. It's a corner kick to Wolves. Hinton's corner kick for Wolves coming over. Pulled down by Crowe, but he can't quite get back to it. And Banks now for Leicester to Riley. Appleton to Walsh. Cheeseborough banging along one across there to Gibson. Gibson to Riley. Riley cutting it in first time. This must be the first one. There it is, and it's Gibson. Well, they say the Leicester City forward line doesn't kick very well, but they certainly whipped the ball in the back of the net there before any Wolves player could move. So after 18 minutes, we have Leicester City going ahead by 1-0. And a very well-taken goal by Gibson, their inside right in the bargain. Wolves kicking off, one down. Flowers calling for Hinton to come towards him and not run away. That undoubtedly will set the game alight. Hinton now to Wharton. Wharton completely missing the ball altogether, but it turns it into a good one because Crowe trying to jink his way past Norman, does get past, floated into the centre there, Banks, and this must be a goal. Hinton's much too slow getting to it. Tries a shot, this is his left-footed shot. No, he just doesn't get it again. Now, that's possibly the lack of experience on young Hinton's part. He really should have run onto that with his right foot and clattered it first time. Some 8 minutes before the end of the first half, with Leicester leading by 1-0. It changes ends rapidly, and it's in the own goal. It's in. Flowers, so concerned with stopping Walsh getting the ball from that floated centre by Keyworth, and that's what it was. He floated it across to beat him. Flowers has put it into his own goal some 7.5 minutes before the end of the first half, so Wolves now trail by 2-0. The scorer, Flowers, the captain and left half of Wolverhampton's side. Flowers now taking on to Crowe. In by Wharton, nodded out by Keyworth. Cheeseborough. Leicester now beginning to open up this Wolverhampton defence with some well-flighted crossfield passing, which of course is normal of the Wolverhampton side. They normally play this crossfield pass, and in the meantime, of course, we have this little bit of business going on, and there you can see how silly it is for players to interfere when the goalkeeper is being charged fairly by the opposition, because Chalmers has made a silly mistake there. He's given an indirect free kick away, which naturally, being inside the penalty, would be indirect. Maybe a good lesson to be learned there by young people, that not to come charging people in the back or attempting to interfere with them when they are challenging the goalkeeper. Indirect free kick then. Well, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Broadbent saying that Gibson is nearer than 10 yards, and he's not nearer than 10 yards. And it's Flowers taking that push pass, corner kick to Wolves, and the two Leicester fullbacks, Chalmers and Norman, now coming in a little bit keenly, to say the least, in their tackling. Banks, after the stoppage of play, for an injury to McLintock. Walsh onto Riley. Riley now having to go a little bit on his own. There's nobody up with him. Oh, and Walsh there, so busy watching whether Flowers is going to catch him in the tackle, took his eye off the ball, and that's a throw-in for Wolves. Flowers back to Thompson. Oh, and a pathetic clearance there by Flowers. Gives a throw-in to Leicester, and I would make it some 4 minutes left to play now in the first half, with Leicester leading by 2-0 as it comes to McLintock. And that's out of play. Throw-in to Wolves. Flowers taking the throw. Thompson. He was getting it on to Gibson. Gibson playing it first time as he'd hoped for Riley to have gone on to, but Riley hadn't anticipated that at all. Thompson's pass collected and kicked clear by Davies. Nodded on by Stobart. King just bangs it away first time to Gibson. Appleton having to check there for Cheeseborough to come with him. Appleton fighting a long one through to Gibson. He's onside. This must be the third one. And a wonderful effort there by Gibson. What a brilliant little player he's proved to be this afternoon against his Wolverhampton side. Gibson then, who scored the first after 18 minutes, has scored Leicester's third goal some 3 minutes before the end of the first half. 43 minutes after the game started, Leicester are now leading by 3-0. To kick off in the second half with the two Leicester fullbacks, Chalmers and Norman, now coming in a little bit keenly, to say the least, in their tackling. Banks, after the stoppage of play, for an injury to McLintock. Walsh onto Riley. Riley now having to go a little bit on his own. There's nobody up with him. Oh, and Walsh there, so busy watching whether Flowers is going to catch him in the tackle, took his eye off the ball, and that's a throw-in for Wolves. Flowers back to Thompson. Oh, and a pathetic clearance there by Flowers. Gives a throw-in to Leicester. And I would make it some 4 minutes left to play now in the first half, with Leicester leading by 2-0 as it comes to McLintock. And that's out of play. Throw in to Wolves. Flowers taking the throw. Thompson. He was getting it on to Gibson. Gibson playing it first time as he'd hoped for Riley to have gone on to, but Riley hadn't anticipated that at all. Thompson's pass collected and kicked clear by Davies. Nodded on by Stobart. King just bangs it away first time to Gibson. Appleton having to check there for Cheeseborough to come with him. Appleton fighting a long one through to Gibson. He's onside. This must be the third one. And a wonderful effort there by Gibson. What a brilliant little player he's proved to be this afternoon against his Wolverhampton side. Gibson then, who scored the first after 18 minutes, has scored Leicester's third goal some 3 minutes before the end of the first half. 43 minutes after the game started, Leicester are now leading by 3 goals to 0. Leicester to kick off in the second half with the floodlights on now, which will probably a little bit more light on the scene. Certainly may help the Wolves because they're trailing by 3 goals to 0, having played some very inept football in the first half. Leicester, on the other hand, who are accused of being rather negative in the forward line, played remarkably well. They have pulled, or beginning to pull, Keyworth back from centre forward to make sure that they keep this 3-goal advantage that they've got. Crow. Oh, they're back against Crow. You can probably see him over making a rugby tackle on Walsh. He was just getting away from him. Appleton. Riley trying to go around Thompson. And there's a foul against Riley for pulling very much the same way that Crow pulled Walsh back. Davies having to kick against a slight wind in the second half, but it doesn't seem to make much difference to the distance that he gets it down the pitch. Not enough by Stobart to Wharton. Banks out quickly to leave any problems there. Keyworth nodding it on. Kirkham to Flowers. Kirkham, Scholl too late there. That's the first full-blooded tackle that we've seen by any Wolves player since the start of the game. That the one by Scholl, but it's a throw in to Leicester. Appleton to King to Norman. And Broadbent getting it out to Hinton. Inside, nodded away by Appleton. Thompson, again this inept passing by the Wolves defenders particularly. Broadbent showing a little bit of challenge, sending it upfield to Wharton. Wharton. Banks is quite happy to look after those all the afternoon. At least what's left of it as far as the game is concerned. It's about 42 minutes left for play. In other words, 3 minutes gone in the second half. That long raking one there by Cheeseborough is collected quite easily by Davies rather. Comes up to Wall. And already in this first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half, we see more effort and more challenge by the Wolverhampton side than shown in all the first half put together. Keyworth trying to backheel it to Riley, only finds Thompson as Broadbent. To Hinton. The reason for that free kick is the fact that Chalmers was taking along Hinton's left leg with him. So we've got Hinton whacking it in very hard, and he's coming in on again on it. And there's the Hinton's famous left foot there to pump that into the near post. Lintott arguing that Crow fouled him, but Wolves back in the picture by Hinton there outside left after 4 minutes play in the second half. The score now, Wolves 1, Leicester City 3.